Welcome to Double Fries No Slaw. It is the first Sunday in June. We're almost halfway through the year, Richie. June 6th. TJ Pinger alongside Richie Barnes. Richie, how you doing this evening? I like that hat you got on. I got a Big Three Roll-Up hat on, but I see your Double Fries hat over there. So
Yeah,
we hard.
got to represent the brand. I'm doing good, man. You know, it was the wife's birthday Friday, so went out, took her to her favorite restaurant. Just been watching an overload of sports today with baseball. Unfortunately, they fell. Softball just got going back again. We got the U.S. men's national team at 9. We got the Mayweather Logan Paul fight at 11. Man, a lot going on today.
It's been a busy weekend. The birthday shenanigans that you celebrated last weekend, I've got coming up next week, and my birthday is on Sunday. So for those listening, we're probably going to go on Monday night instead of Sunday. And then my son's birthday is a couple of days after that. And so Father's Day is right around that. So it's mine and his week for sure. All kind of happening within a week. So the girls in this house can celebrate us for a change. They get celebrated like the other 51 weeks. So it'll be good. Double Fries No Slaw brought to you by Guthrie's in Tallahassee. You can visit both their locations at 1818 West Tennessee Street and 2550 North Monroe. We had a good conversation with Guthrie's this week. We've got something exciting to announce for you guys later in the show. But without further ado, we want to welcome our first guest of the episode, Mr. Pat Watkins, to the show. Pat, former Knoll DB, former NFL player as well, but we really care about that FSU career that you had here in Tallahassee. Coach, how you doing there, Pat?
I'm doing really well, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. No, we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us this week. Double Fries No Slaw. I know that you spent some time in Tallahassee, man. Is that how you ordered your gut boxes back in the day? I mean, tell me about it.
Yeah, you already know Double Fries No Slaw. Favorite order, I actually don't slaw at all, actually. So yeah, Double Fries.
Every time, man. Every time with the no slaw. I got some. I was at a place the other night, and I got ribs, and coleslaw came with it. And my dad was like, "You ain't gonna eat that coleslaw?" And I was like, "No, I think I'm good, man. Like, I'm just gonna enjoy these ribs. Like, I think I'm good on that slaw, bro. Like, that ain't gonna do nothing for me." So, but Pat, we so much appreciate you coming on and hanging out tonight. Hey, you got a camp coming up, and I want to start here because I want everybody that's tuned in to see this. I want to lead with this so that the people that tune in and don't stay for the whole thing so that they hang around for it and they hear it. But talk to us about your camp that's coming up June 14th through June 18th at Florida High. Talk to us about the camp, man.
Yeah, like you said, it's coming up from the 14th, 18th. It's coming up from June 14th through the 18th, like you said. And it's it's ages from 7 to 15. Boys and girls, grades 2 through 9. It's going to be fun. We work on a lot of fundamentals as far as controlling the body control, being able to move, coordinate your body, and discipline. So, I mean, it's a well-rounded camp for anybody that wants to get better at any sport, and especially football.
Where can people sign up for the camp? How can they get registered? How can they get access to it? Just all the details there.
You can register at i9sports.com. I partner with i9 Sports to run the camp, so it's easy to register through them. You just go to i9sports.com, and you should find a link there. Hello? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was also going to give you my friend's phone number who you can also get in contact with, but I can't give it to you live on the air.
No, you're good. We have a flyer for those watching, those listening. We have a flyer that we put out that has more of the details on it. And so go and check that out. Like Pat said, ages 7 to 15. It is next week. So if you're watching this live, if you are listening the next morning, it is next week starting June 14th through June 18th. It's 8:30 to 11 a.m. Boys and girls grades 2nd through 9th with Pat Watkins, former FSU Seminole, former Dallas Cowboy. Instruction. You can register again at i9sports.com. That's the letter i9sports.com. Man, we're super excited for that. Maybe we'll get you back on afterwards to talk about it because I know it's going to be a big success. Really excited to see what you guys are able to get done there because,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've talked a lot on this show, man. It's all about kind of giving back. So I'm excited to see what you can do with the youth there in Tallahassee and give back there, man. That's really awesome for sure. Richie, I'll let you kind of take this in a direction that's not the camp. Now that we've talked about that for just a little bit, but let's talk some highlights, man. Let's talk some old FSU football with Pat a little bit because that's my favorite thing to talk about. Florida State football has not been great the last couple of years, so I like living the highlights for a minute.
Yeah, let's relive some conference championships and BCS games. But
That's right,
man. Like TJ said, it's awesome you're giving back to the community. Obviously, you were from Tallahassee, went to Lincoln, a 5-star prospect out of high school, and I feel like it used to be a shoo-in when we had a 5-star prospect in Tallahassee. He was going to Florida State, right? And now you see Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, all these people coming in and taking all these elite players from the Panhandle. Was that ever a thought of yours going somewhere else, or was Florida State, being the hometown school, being a very prestigious school, they had played in 3 straight national titles while you were in middle school and high school. Was that an easy decision for you, or was that where other schools, did they have your ear?
No, it was an easy decision. Luckily for me, it was a prestige program, one of the top programs in the country. So yeah, it was an easy decision, and like you said, it was easy being from Tallahassee, being raised in Tallahassee, and it was easy because there was also winning. They had a lot of success in the past, and I definitely wanted to be a part of, if not nothing else, be a tradition. So yeah, I mean, it was an easy decision for me.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Florida State fans are happy you made that decision. You played, plenty of games, especially from 2003 to 2005. 2005 was a interesting season. It was the first ever ACC championship game, and you guys, kind of limped in a little bit, and everyone assumed Virginia Tech was probably going to blow you guys out. They were top 5 in the country. I think you guys are barely in the top 25. But you guys had different ideas. What's your memories from that game and just winning that ACC title in your last year before going to the NFL?
It felt good to win it. Like you said, we had a pretty up and down season. Probably could have played better, but that wasn't the case. We were where we are, and we earned what we earned. So it felt good to go out with a title. At least we played good enough to at least leave with a title, an ACC title. So that felt good to give me a little momentum going into the league. And like I said, it's a good feeling when you get a chance to do stuff with people that you work so hard for, with so long. So it's always a good feeling.
Pat, you got to play for everybody in Tallahassee's favorite person in Bobby Bowden, right? Like if the name everywhere you go in Tallahassee, if you say that name, like, that's just the guy. I was chatting with some folks in the boosters office last week, and it's still that way. Several coaches removed, championships removed, all this stuff. What was Bobby like? Right. Like, I mean, I know that you had your position coaches. I know you had different people you were hearing from, but I like to ask that of everybody that played for him because, he's the one that turned this program around. But man, what was it like being under Bobby Bowden? And did you realize it at that time, or is it something you kind of realized later? Like, man, I just played for Bobby Bowden. Like, what was that like?
I mean, I knew it was special right away for a coach, like you said, that caliber to be reaching out and trying to get you to come play for his program is pretty special anyway. So I mean, I knew what it was, and once again, I had grew up, enjoying Florida State football. So I knew exactly who Bobby Bowden was, and it was a great feeling. The last few years I was there, it was pretty laid back coach. Like I said, he wasn't a fiery in your face coach, but he still had the means to get it done. The way he spoke with you, the way he the way make you want to better.
Do you keep pretty close watch on Florida State now? Florida State currently in the program. I know we've enjoyed some, or not enjoyed, but we've had some down years over the last couple of years and kind of struggled, but things hopefully seem to be turning around with Coach Norvell. I know that recruiting's kind of taking a little bit of a step forward right now. How closely do you kind of follow the program now, and what are your thoughts on the current program?
I, I haven't had a chance to, put it under the microscope and kind of, go in detail myself. But, from what I know through other people, I hear a lot. And, like I said, my ears always to the street when it comes to Florida State football. I hear that, he's a great coach. And I can't wait to see him perform. Like I said, I'm optimistic. And, I always hope for the best when it comes to Florida State football. I've been watching as closely as I would have liked to. I've not, but now that I'm more, now that I'm closer in town, I'm gonna try my hardest to kind of get, familiar with the program and get familiar with the play.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Pat, man, we appreciate you so much for taking some time and chatting about the old days, chatting about today's days. And we wish you the most success and most luck with the camp coming up. We're going to continue to promote it on our social media and try to do our very best to help you out with that. But, man, thank you so much for taking some time and chat with us tonight. I don't want to keep you too long, but, man, we are excited for you. And best of luck with the camp. Like I said, anything you need from us, you're always welcome here. But, man, thank you for your time, and go Noles.
Thanks, Pat.
Man, thank you so much, and have a good night.
Thanks, buddy.
You too.
Pat Watkins, former FSU DB, made some big plays, had some big interceptions, had some big plays in that garnet and gold uniform. So appreciate him for hanging out. Again, if you got little guys, little gals between the ages of 2nd and 9th grade that want to sign up for that camp, it is the 14th through the 18th. So not this coming Monday, not today, if you're listening to it on iTunes, Spotify, wherever, but next week. Is that a Yoo-Hoo that you're drinking? Or is that an IPA or something?
That's a Sweetwater.
All right, I was going to say, if that's a Yoo-Hoo, bro, I am so jealous. All right, very good. I was like, man, Richie's drinking a Yoo-Hoo live on the pod. Like, I was like, I'm reaching for my next bourbon, but like Richie's like on a Yoo-Hoo. Like, let's go, man. But anyway, no, if you got kids that can sign up for that camp, man, go check that out. That's good stuff. Support our former Noles for sure. Hey, man, we got a lot of stuff going on in a lot of different sports. Let's go around the horn really, really quickly. Let's get some football. Let's get some softball. Let's get some baseball news in here really quick. And then let's get to another interview that we pre-recorded with FSU track coach Ricky Argro. Really, really good stuff there. I'm excited for you guys to see that interview. Let's go around the horn. Let's get to that interview with Coach Argro. We have an announcement from Guthrie's that we want to make you guys aware of. And then let's get out of here and watch this softball team try and beat Alabama tonight. I was up late last night till like 3 o'clock. I got bags under my eyes. I had to wear a hat because my hair's been all crazy all day. But yeah, let's run around the horn. Richie, let's start with football. I know that's what people want to hear about. I know you got the news for us. We had some recruiting news, some camps and stuff going on this weekend. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so last week, while we were recording it, they were preparing for, Midnight Madness. I don't think Florida State was calling it that, but that's what kind of the media, tapped and came up with, piggybacking off of the basketball Midnight Madness. Little real brief background. Back in the day, basketball coaches were known for showing up at recruits' house at midnight when the recruiting period ended, and it was called Midnight Madness. The Florida State kind of did that themselves. This, June 1st was the official end of the dead period, and Mike Norvell had several commits, big time guys, Travis Hunter, Sam McCall, a couple 5-stars, and many others on campus visiting right at midnight, which was pretty cool in itself. There's been a lot of discussion about the slingshot, the custom Florida State climb slingshot that he drove out onto the field. I'm not really interested in what people like TJU and I think about something like that, because the recruits really seem to like it. They all wanted to get in the car. They all wanted to take pictures with it. A lot of big time talent on campus. What were your thoughts on that? I thought it was a great idea to get them there at midnight. Some people are calling it gimmicky, whatever it may be. But the fact is, Mike Norvell had a lot of elite talent on campus before any other college did this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Gimmicky is something that like old white men say, like you and I, that like just want to complain about, oh, these kids and their toy, like, I don't know. I just think that people like us complain about stuff being gimmicky. At the end of the day, if these recruits like it, then more power to them. Like, I don't know. Does it resonate with the recruits? Yes. Then it was great. If not, then no. Is it going to turn into like us signing 17 5-stars the night of an event? No. I mean, but it's developing relationships and it's building toward the future. And, if Norvell's going to be here for a while, then I think a lot of it was the right move. Do I care about that trike or whatever he had out there,
slingshot, man, the slingshot.
Yeah, I don't really care, but if a 17, 18-year-old kid likes it, then great, like let's roll.
Exactly.
So I mean, yeah, to me it does nothing because I'm a grown man with bills and responsibilities and stuff. But if the kids like it, then great, Midnight Madness. Obviously, we got a lot of recruits on Florida State's campus before anyone else was able to, because I don't say jump the gun, but if you could say jump the gun like in a positive way, like we got ahead of the curve, right? Like maybe that's the better cliche to use. That wasn't the only recruiting event that they had going off. Like, I saw somebody tweet this today. If Norvell fails at Florida State, it will not be for a lack of effort. All right. Like the last guy that was here was just unorganized and didn't want to work and was lazy and just, whatever. Yeah. That will not be the case with Norvell, right? Like Norvell will at least he's going to go down swinging if that's the case. And I'm not predicting failure or anything like that, but that seems to be like he's going to outwork anybody, right? And we'll see where the results pan out later. But that wasn't the only recruiting event to go on. There's literally one that's wrapping up, like going on now, right?
So it's the FSU Mega Camp, and Coach Norvell invited coaches from like 50 plus programs from the FCS level to the FBS to, all levels of coaches allowed to come here. And Mike Norvell knows that he said they had 3,000 kids there today, which is a ridiculous number when you think about it. But I saw several tweets from the media that were there. Shout out to our guys at 247 and other outlets. They got the Tallahassee police involved to coordinate the traffic of just so much. You talked about organization. It could not have been more well run. They did it on the old intramural fields. So anyone who has ever been to Florida State knows where those are. That a lot of tailgating happens there. But they held a camp with 3,000 kids there, and it was just so well run and well organized, according to everything we've read. And they knew a lot of the kids they invited to campus they're not Florida State caliber. They're not coming here, but maybe they have a younger brother. Maybe they have a cousin. Maybe they have someone else. And like TJ said, build those relationships because it'll pay off down the line. And if Mike Norvell is lucky enough to be here in, 5-6 years, one, that's a really good thing for us as Florida State fans because that means he's doing something right. But two, it's really good for his recruiting in the future. And I just can't think of, any better event to do right on the back of that. I saw it's hilarious thing. Ron Zook there. He's an assistant at Maryland, and he was there at the camp there, probably recruiting from Maryland, which is fine. But also, again, it's Norvell showing these players, I want to help you guys get exposure. If you're good enough and I want you, I hope you come play for me. But if not, there's 50 other schools here represented that you can play for. Just a great idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think that again, I don't know what the immediate net benefit of these camps and this Midnight Madness are going to be this week,
won't be
this
much.
month,
Yeah,
this
won't
class,
be much, but down the line. Yeah.
But I think down the line, I think that this is something that could really benefit FSU. And it's just laying the groundwork. And like I said, Norvell is not going to he's going to go down swinging, right? Like he is not going to fail here for a lack of effort, which other coaches have. So it'll be exciting to see. A little bit of news. We'd kind of cover this, so I don't want to skip right over it. Caden Madden was an offensive lineman that some had predicted as a sure thing to come to Tallahassee. Some said a done deal. Ended up not being a done deal. Florida State misses out on Caden Madden. He ends up at Notre Dame. So the hashtag Caden Madden to Tally tweets didn't work, but the silver linings, he is coming to Tallahassee first weekend. We'll be there the same weekend as he is. So didn't commit to FSU, but he is coming to Tallahassee. So a little silver lining there. The tweets like kind of worked. So he did not end up picking Florida State. From what I've been told, and we don't get deep into recruiting on this. I have no inside sources. I don't mean to act like I have an inside source on any of this kind of stuff. But from what I was told, kid grew up in the Midwest and got an offer from the number one Midwest school that anyone ever thinks about. And
let's just say
ended up at Notre Dame.
Yeah, and Notre Dame's not struggling to put offensive linemen in the league right now. Complete business decision. Obviously, we all wanted him. I'm the number one person that cries out, never tweet at recruits. I tweeted out the Cade Madden to Tally hashtag. I did get a Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham like and retweet, which was nice, but it didn't work out. So I'm retiring from the hashtag game. But again, guys, Cade Madden, Notre Dame is putting guys in the league from the offensive line every single year. Florida State struggled. I think Alex Atkins is the best offensive line coach in the country. Nobody can tell me otherwise. But I also completely understand why he chose Notre Dame for his last year before he goes to the NFL. It sucks for us because he could have really helped our depth. He obviously would have been a starter. But it is what it is. And then the last bit of recruiting news we have to get to, Florida State had 2 quarterback commits last time we recorded. They have 1 now. Just AJ Duffy, number 76 overall in the 247 composite. Nico Marchiol, no longer considered a Florida State commit. We didn't see the actual, decommitment tweet, but we knew as soon as he took visits elsewhere, the staff was going to part ways. It sounded like it was a, mutual parting of ways. Obviously, I think the staff would still like him in this class, but if he's not all in, which clearly he's not, if he's talking about taking 5 officials, it is what it is. AJ Duffy is the higher rated player. We don't know who's going to be the better college player. So I'm not going to say he was scared of competition or anything like that, but it sucks to lose a blue chip quarterback recruit, but it's nice to have another blue chip quarterback recruit in your back pocket.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Florida State, it's tough to know exactly which way it'll go. Richie is 100% right on that. Florida State is happy with, if they could have only gotten one of these 2, I think they're happy with who they got. Would have liked to have both. But if they could have only picked one of the 2, they're happy with where things landed. So that kind of puts a bow on that. Hey, Harlan, you want to come in here for just a minute? Let's put a bow on this FSU baseball season. Up and down weekend. But let's chat about it. Can you here, I'll hit this so you don't have to. Oh, look at that. It automatically ranked you higher than Richie. things. Oh, wow. FSU baseball, we'll go around the horn, then we'll talk about we'll hit our interview with Coach Argro. But FSU baseball won a really fun game on Friday night against Southern Miss. What was it, 6-4, 6-2? Maybe I'm way off on the scores, but anyway, beat Southern Miss. And then the defense really let us down on Saturday. A couple errors in the first that gave Ole Miss a couple of runs. Another error late in the game that gave Ole Miss the eventual go-ahead run. Florida State had the lead for a lot of the game today against Southern Miss. If they'd have won that, they'd have forced a rematch against Ole Miss where they would have needed to beat them twice. So it didn't look super probable to get out of the regional after losing yesterday. But what were your thoughts overall on this FSU baseball season?
I mean, it was a good season overall, especially when you take into the fact that the ACC got to play less. I mean, they really got screwed, I've already said, in the regional that they got placed in. They basically told the ACC they wouldn't base anything on RPI, and then it literally went down the line RPI for everything. So they got unlucky with that regional, and like TJ mentioned, they're essentially a ground ball to shortstop error away from being in the driver's seat to win the super regional, which really, it's unfortunate. I was talking to a few of my buddies that played for FSU. I'll shout them out. Sherman Johnson, Gold Glove for Florida State. He just mentioned things like that happen. That's baseball. You can't really blame one thing or the other, but it does really suck that a ground ball to the shortstop with 2 outs essentially might cost you a super regional. But they're a really young team. I know we were mentioning that on the timeline today. I think I saw it on the Double Fries account. They're really young. I mean, you're losing Matt Nelson for sure. I mean, he's in the Golden Spikes Award watch list, so you're losing him, and really it's kind of up in the air on who else you lose other than a few senior pitchers. So look for them to have a really, I think, strong season next year. Next year they're going to be a lot of depth and a lot of experience for that team. But overall in the year, I think they, about it expected, ranked most of the year. So.
Yeah, with a young team, I think you're going to see flashes. And Harlan, just tell me if I'm wrong on this, but with a young team, you're going to see flashes, and the highs are going to be high and the lows are going to be low, right? Like you're going to beat the hell out of Florida and Miami and just dominate your rivals and get up for those games, and and then you're going to lose a Tuesday night game to Florida Gulf Coast, right? Like that's just how it's going to go, right? Like you're just, I mean, the regional went. I mean, I hate to say about as well as you'd want, because obviously we had a chance, and you're like maybe one error away from getting through to being in the driver's seat, right? To really having a chance to get onto the supers. But I mean, you were a 3 seed in the regional, and you upset the 2 seed once, you lost to the 1 seed, and then you lost to the 2 seed again the second time, right? So that's kind of how they had predicted it, right? Like, I mean, so anyway, I think that the only other thing that would have happened is Florida State would have, if they'd have lost the first game, then they'd have just ended up playing Southern Miss again, because Ole Miss would beat them last night. Then they played Southern Miss again, and maybe they win. But to think that they were going to beat Ole Miss, I mean, they really used a lot of the bullpen today, and it'd have been really tough to beat Ole Miss twice. Not impossible, but I think it'd have been pretty tough to beat them twice. But man, there's just so many young guys on this team that we're going to probably start the year ranked pretty well again next year. Top 15, would you guess? Going into the next season, maybe flirting with top 10, and then at that point, it's how well do we play down the year? Because obviously preseason rankings don't matter too much. The Gators were ranked number 1 by everybody going into the season, and they went 0-2 in barbecue in their own regional. And so, not that preseason rankings mean too much, but
I didn't see that. What was the score of the Gators game yesterday?
I think South Alabama just scored again, so I don't really know that I have a great answer. They did. So as rough as you'll say that our season was, we played later into the year than both of those teams, right? Now, just a couple hours past Miami, but we did play later in the year than both those teams, and we won a regional game, unlike the Gators.
We won more season games on SEC fields than the Gators did this year. So at least
absolutely.
We can take that to bed with us.
I think the main thing to look at there is you have that Ole Miss game won. Ole Miss did not win that game. We gave the 1 seed to win that game, and they had 4
Oh my god! Yeah, that overthrow to the first was brutal.
Yeah, you played well enough to beat the 1 seed. You gave it away, but and really today you took the lead early. You had a pitcher throw it past the first baseman for another go-ahead run. So essentially, you played well enough to win. You just gave it away. So hopefully next year that experience will help them. You hear them. I don't want to compare softball to baseball, but that's all they talk about with this FSU softball team is how much experience they have when it comes down to the line. All those girls that have all that experience, redshirt senior, redshirt senior, redshirt senior. They know how to play when the pressure's on them.
So let's keep you in here for this, Harlan. I'm going to get some people upset at me. I find college softball more enjoyable to watch than college baseball right now. Am I crazy for that? Because man, and maybe it's just because Lonnie's been great with us and coming on the show multiple times.
Meat's been great with us coming on the show multiple times.
Meat has as well, but
come on, I don't watch this.
I can watch a college softball game in like 2 hours. It's super exciting. When I was in school, they did a bunch of the slap and run and bunt, like a bunch of small ball. It just wasn't exciting. But now, like, there's a lot of power in women's or college softball.
11 didn't do enough small ball for you.
Anyways, Harlan, what are you thinking about these ladies? Because it's been a lot of fun, and they're playing right now. They just resumed or they're about to resume. But I'm excited for this team.
It's 0-0 top 4. Softball is definitely
watching it right
it's
now.
Getting more fun to watch, and I think it's because you mentioned it. They're getting away from it being ground balls and slap hitting the whole game. They're actually starting to hit some home runs, and the one thing I can't stand, and I might get slapped for this. I cannot stand the chanting and the songs and the dancing and the people behind
Lonnie. You better say that when Lonnie comes on.
Lonnie's probably going to watch this and be like, "You guys need a new producer right now."
Get rid
of the girl
of
that went behind the camera and was like shotgunning a water. I don't know. That I'm coming from a college baseball where like you just don't do that stuff. But I mean, softball is different. So that's the one thing I would say. But I mean, I've watched every game they're playing. It's definitely exciting to watch. So I'm watching it right now as we're on stream. So
yeah, I'm literally live on my phone right now. I got like 6% battery and hoping we wrap up this show before the phone dies. So no, their games have been super exciting. we'll transition there. But obviously, we wish the very best of luck to Mike Martin Jr. and the team. He's been very good to us in coming on the show several times, and so we can't wait to see them next year. Not coming off of a pandemic year, excited to see them next year. Take the field again and see kind of as the team grows, as they grow, kind of where they're at. Softball's been fantastic. They lost their first game of the Women's College World Series on Thursday. They lost to UCLA in a game where we just really couldn't get the offense going. Then on Friday, they had the day off. On Saturday, they had to win 2 games. They won the first one. Really looked like they were going to lose that. In the 6th inning, they were down 2 runs with 2 outs and hit a 3-run home run to end up winning that game. Actually, Arizona came back and tied it up in the top of the 7th, and then we walked it off in the bottom of the 7th to win and advance to play Oklahoma State. That game, thanks to a couple of really, really long rain delays, did not take place until 12:50 Eastern time. Richie had been in bed for 6 hours at that point, but I did stay up and watch it. Florida State has been known for saving their very, very best for last. They didn't last night. They got up 3-0 early and kind of held on to the lead for the rest of the night. Ended up winning 4-2. And like Richie said, they are playing right now after another rain delay against Alabama. It is 0-0 in the top of the 4th. Alabama actually just hit for their 2nd out of the inning, a foul out to Sydney Sherrill, who is the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. We're not going to do live play-by-play on this show because I'm just not good enough for that, but little update there. Alabama has 1 on with 2 outs as we tape this. We're trying to wrap it up quickly so we can go watch the rest of it. If Florida State wins, they will need to beat Alabama another time to advance to the finals. On the other side,
in the morning, right?
Yeah, hopefully not, because I got stuff to do tomorrow. Today was a little bit easier. But I was sitting in church this morning just like dozing off. Like Kara's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I stayed up till like 3 o'clock watching this stupid game. So anyway, not that the game was stupid. It was stupid they had to start a game that late, though. I will say that. They'd never done that to a men's team. But anyway, so Harlan, I'm gonna kick you out of here. Sorry, I know you've been on here for a minute, but I'm gonna kick you out real quick. Softball, if they win, they will play Alabama again to get to the finals. On the other side, JMU, who has been kind of the Cinderella of the tournament, if we end up getting knocked out, which obviously I hope doesn't happen, but JMU is a really fun team to cheer for, and they've been exciting. They went up against Oklahoma earlier today. They lost to Oklahoma, so it's a winner-take-all for the finals, which is, again, what Florida State is trying to force. So after this game, after Florida State plays Alabama, Oklahoma and JMU will play each other. I don't know if they'll make us play another one at midnight or not, but we'll see. As of this recording, I have no clue what's going on. Softball has been super exciting. I'm hoping we can win this so I can get Lonnie back on here to talk to us back. She is so even-keeled and so much fun to watch on the sideline there. And that team just never says die, man. They come back from late inning deficits. They're young as well. They have 5 seniors on the team, but they've got a lot of youth, and Catherine Sandercock has been fantastic. A lot of the team has been really, really good. And Richie's right. That softball team is a ton of fun to watch. So excited to continue to watch them, excited to see them progress through the rest of the tournament. Hopefully it does not end tonight. Hopefully we keep going through this week. So that's football, that's baseball, that's softball. Hey, track and field goes to their national championships this week. They're actually on a flight right now to get out there. We spoke with Coach Ricky Argro on Friday afternoon. He was gracious enough to give us some time and chat with us. We are going to play that interview for you. I've never done this. I've never played an interview like kind of live while we're on the air. So hopefully this works out well when I go in to play this. The interview is, I don't know, roughly 15, 17 minutes. So check out our interview with Coach Argro, and then Richie and I will be back. We'll put a bow on this thing, and we'll sign off, and we'll let you guys get back to some softball. But check out our sprints and relay coach, Ricky Argro from FSU Men's Track and Field. Check them out, and then we'll be right back in a few. Back to Double Fries No Slaw. We are joined by a very special guest, Ricky Argro, FSU Track and Field sprints and relays Coach for the men's team, correct? Coach, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for taking some time and joining us.
I'm doing great, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, no, we know you guys are busy. We know you guys have a million things going on, about to take off and head across country and go to these NCAA championships. We're excited for you guys and very appreciative again that you would take the time and chat with us. Double fries, no slaw. Obviously, no to Guthrie's. Now you went to FSU. You've been in town for a long time, but you throw the slaw out too, just like us, right? Like you do it right. I feel like the gut box might not be the best thing though for like track and field. Like if you
definitely not. I definitely tell my kids now to shy away from Guthrie's, but I mean when I was a young pup here in the early 2000s, I actually lived across the street. The apartment's name when I was in school was Royal Village. I forgot what the name of it may be now, but it's literally directly across the street from Guthrie. So I used to walk there almost daily.
And you were still running the way that you did, winning like championships and everything.
Yeah. I had to cut it out. I gained about 15 pounds my freshman year, and I had to cut that out quick.
They say the freshman 15, right? So it goes for athletes as well.
Yeah, it was the Guthrie's 15. Can you still move? Like, I'm gonna ask you that before we even get into this, but can you still move like you? I mean, maybe not like you did, but can you still get out there and put it?
Definitely not like I used to. I got bad knees and bad hip, but every now and again the guys have challenged me, and I've slowly but surely over the years made the races shorter. So now I'm about I give you a good 30 meters and
talking about your time at FSU in 2006, you captained a team that won a national championship. So I know that probably drives a lot of what you do in your coaching, wanting to see the kids have the same success for you did, but just on a personal level, not so much coaching. Man, there are a lot of national champions that are mentioned at Florida State. A lot of people think about football and Jameis and Charlie and guys like that, but what's it mean to you to be a national champion, to have won that at FSU?
Athlete, it's the most, it's the biggest thing that I've ever been a part of. I wasn't the best athlete on my team. That goes to Walter Dix and Rafiq Curry, guys like that, Ricardo Chambers, all those guys, they were, super elite level athletes. They were national champions. But, those guys were, they're my brothers. So just being a part of that and coming in the early 2000s when, we were just kind of starting to get the thing rolling, and to go 4 years and, be a part of, I believe we won, 7 ACC championships during my time. And, to culminate that with the national championship, to end my collegiate career. There's nothing bigger.
It's pretty special to go out on top like that. Obviously we've had other guys be able to do that. You think about Peter Warwick doing it, Charlie, like different guys, but yeah, no, absolutely. So it's pretty cool for sure. Richie had a question about Walter. Go ahead, Richie. I'll let you jump in.
Yeah, so it's funny that you were leaving Florida State just as I enrolled. I enrolled in the summer of 2006 in Summer C, and even in high school, I did football, basketball, ran track. I was probably like a 19-second 100-meter guy, but I loved the idea just watching Walter Dix. You mentioned him. I think Nike picked him up when he was finishing up at Florida State. He made it to an Olympics final at the 100-meter. Just what was it like seeing not just, an All-American, but a true all-world talent like that, just watching in person? You were really good yourself, but when you watch him run, what was it like? Like, my goodness, that guy's fast.
Yeah, you knew it in the beginning. Walt came in, I would have been a junior Walt's freshman year. So, we knew how great he was, coming out of high school. But, as a collegiate athlete, you kind of start feeling yourself after you've been in college for a while, and you start saying, well, he's great in high school, but we'll see what he does when he gets on this level. And he came in, and day one of practice, we were doing some sprint drills, and you see this kid run, and you say, okay, he's the guy. like you just knew it from the moment that you got a chance to run next to him that he was just different. And he obviously he was an elite level track and field athlete, but he's one of the most humble guys that I've ever been around. Like Walt just kind of wanted to go about his business, and he never really wanted to be praised for anything that he did. He's the quietest guy I think I've ever met. I mean, I think Walt's freshman year, I maybe can count on both of my hands how many words he actually said. But super humble young man, and he goes down as the greatest athlete in FSU history on the track side.
Yeah, I've always considered him one of the most underrated athletes, because I know when I was on Florida State's campus my freshman year, that was his senior year, nobody was really talking about him until you got to like the NCAA finals, like you guys getting ready to go to. And it was just amazing to see. And how unfortunate is it for him that he enters the Olympics in his run at the same time as some Jamaican named Usain Bolt, who just happens to be the fastest human being to ever live on this planet.
Yeah. I mean, it was unfortunate for a lot of people, not just him, but I mean, Bolt brought out the best in everyone. I mean, he totally changed the sport, and I mean, he took it to a different level where, you know, it used to be that 9.9 was fast, and now, you know, people look at 9.9 like it's regular because you have someone that was so supremely gifted and such a great ambassador for the sport, and Usain Bolt. And I mean, to run 9.58, I mean, people didn't even think
it's ridiculous.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
And my favorite part of that, watching Usain Bolt run, even when he's setting world records, he starts celebrating like, you know, before he gets to the finish line. He's not even trying to do that. Right. It's just wild to me to see that. But TJ, go ahead.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Talking about this year's team, double ACC champions, both the men's and women's. That's pretty special, pretty unheard of, to take them both home. And then just a ton of tickets punched in the regional. FSU's in really all these sports has done pretty well in the regional, from women's tennis to softball. Baseball's playing right now, but you guys, man, how impressive has your team been these last several weeks, and really the whole season, but especially like when it matters most, right? Like in the postseason.
Yeah, we've been clicking at the right time. It's definitely been a phenomenal outdoor season for us. We had a pretty rough indoor season, and I challenged the guys. You know, I was on them, you know, real bad about our performance at ACCs and the level of the standard of Florida State we didn't live up to. So going into this outdoor season, I mean, we went back to work, and you know, the guys, they I pushed them, you know, as hard as I possibly could without breaking them, and you know, told them, you know, at the end, you will see the payoff from this level of work, and they're seeing the payoff. We're definitely clicking at the right time going into national championships.
National championships coming up this week, starting Wednesday. Is that correct? Getting up and getting rolling. FSU's seen a pretty big turnaround. I read that when you got here, placed 64th at the national championships that year, and in 2019, obviously the pandemic year last year, but so in the last one in 2019, placed 17th. You know, what do I mean, you talked about the standard. I mean, what do those expectations look like now? You know, we've gotten close, gotten better. Now we're going back out there, and we want to win this thing, right?
Yeah. You want to continue building, and you want to compete ultimately for the title. And I think we have as good a group of any group that we've had in the past. So, I mean, that's the goal. The goal is to go and compete for a national championship. And if we fall short, then we want to go and put our best foot forward. But we're going to go out there and compete against the best and give our best.
Absolutely. I like to ask a lot of the coaches that we've had on. We've had a bunch of different coaches kind of take some time and chat with us about this. I like to ask this, and I'll let Richie kind of roll for a minute. But what is and I understand like the general fund and just kind of the overarching what booster support does, but what does booster support do, like kind of specifically for for your program, whether that's the way that it's impacted someone's life, or I know it impacts everybody's life, right? But like, what does that booster support and folks supporting not only FSU but your program really do to help these kids? I like for people to hear that right from you guys.
And it's the lifeline of our program. It's a lifeline of all of our programs. Without that booster support, I mean, you don't get the level of excellence in athletics that you get at Florida State. Our boosters here have been phenomenal, especially this past year with COVID. You know, our team isn't like football. We're not a program where every person that's walking around on our team is on 100% scholarship. I mean, we have most of our team is partial scholarship athletes. So when COVID hit, we had a lot of athletes that were seniors last year. They didn't get an opportunity to finish out their senior season in the right way. And our boosters came to the forefront, and we were able to raise money to allow these athletes to finish out their career at Florida State athletically after they graduated. When NCAA passed a rule and allowed these athletes to come back, I mean, we had to have the funding for it. So being able to call on our boosters for help, we wouldn't be where we are right now without the level of support that we get from our boosters.
Hey, Coach, obviously we pride ourselves in, talking all sports. Football obviously moves the needle. But we talk women's tennis, women's soccer, men's basketball, everything on here. But you've had a couple multiple sport athletes you've worked with that before you got to Florida State. Marvin Bracey, Kermit Winfield, two just absolute burners. Everybody remembers Kermit from the Auburn game, right? That kick return. Like, no Florida. You're not a Florida State fan if you don't remember that right when I say that. But what was it like working with those guys when they were in high school? And how hard is that conversation when a football player who probably has more potential in track, potentially an Olympic level, wants to play football and take that time away from training on track? How hard is that conversation to say you should focus entirely on track, or no, go ahead and play football and we'll get you up to speed on track when season comes around?
Yeah, well, the first part of that question, working with them was great. They had their moments. They're both a couple of jokesters. So, and then they're related. So they're always, always arguing and fighting to that. I mean, that was the start of practice every single day. But once we got them in and got them focused and locked in, it was great working with them. Both of those guys are very similar, but also very different. So I had to kind of approach the way I trained them. I could push Marvin and be on him a little bit more than Kermit in the sense, but Kermit was definitely more of I'd say, football focused athlete from the get-go. Marvin was a little bit open to the idea of the possibility of if football doesn't work out, then track is also an option. And I guess to answer the second part of it is it's not really a tough question, or it's not really a tough conversation leading into it, because they were so young. You kind of just give them your advice, and then you let them kind of make their own decision. I didn't push them either way. I allowed both of them to do both sports when they were in high school, and we found a way to work around their football practices and their track practices, and we kind of just, hey, you could go to school for track, you could go to school for football, whatever decision you make, I'm just here to support the decision. And they both individually, they both initially came here for football. Marvin stepped on the track and kind of set the world on fire as a freshman. And had the ability to go pro, and the shoe companies came calling, and they gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. And Kermit came in as a freshman, and he set the world on fire by returning, doing what he did, becoming an FSU legend, taking that kickoff back in that championship game. So from that point, his path was set, and I was just here just to be a support system for both of them.
Yeah, man, it's wild to me seeing like the shoe contracts that these track athletes get, and it makes a lot of sense because it's a worldwide sport. But the last thing I have for you, so I was, like I told you, I enrolled in 2006 at Florida State. I lived in Smith Hall, just a terrible, disgusting building. So Smith, Kellum, and Sally, anyone who went to Florida State will understand what I'm talking about right now. Some of those are no longer in existence.
Yeah.
But we were all like, that was kind of our own family. And one guy that lived in, I believe he was in Sally. We'd play poker a lot, right? Andrew Batchelor, some people know him as King Batch. He stars in a lot of movies on Netflix and different things, moved out to LA. He took a lot of my money my freshman year in college. Was he the year after you or your last year? And did you get to know him at all?
He came the year after me. So
okay.
Actually, like I came back and visited a couple of times. So like we kind of crossed paths and bumped into each other, but we never really got a chance to really build a relationship or get to know each other. But yeah, I mean, he's big time now.
Yeah, he all I remember was like freshman year. Like I said, we had like, 10-man poker games. He's always taking my money. I knew he won, I think, 3 national titles at Florida State, if you count the one that was taken away that never should have been taken away. But we won't get into that. Now I see him, like I'm on Netflix. I'm telling my wife, I went to college with that guy. He used to take all my money. Yeah. So I think it was pretty cool that you guys had that little crossover. Yeah. But I just had to ask you about that real quick. TJ, what do you got left to finish?
Man, we're about out of time, Coach, but we appreciate so much you again taking the time. We really enjoy getting to know you a little bit better, a little bit more about your team. We're excited for this week for you. We're excited. Yes. But I'll tell you, I don't remember what else was going on, but like with the regionals going on, every like 2 minutes, it was like another ticket punch, like you guys' Twitter feed coming out, another ticket punch. And I was like, let's go. So I'm excited for you guys to blow up my timeline again this week upcoming. Super excited for you guys. I'm also a little jealous of those Packer and Durham guys getting that javelin the other day. I saw that as well.
You see the spear behind me. I need the javelin as well.
You see this painting my wife has up here. I'll put it there. I'll take that down and put it there. So
I get you guys a relay baton or something.
I would love that.
We'll take it. Oh, we'll be up. We were actually talking about it just before you came on. We'll be up on Labor Day weekend, and so it'd be great to maybe split a. Well, I won't split one. You can get your own, but like we'll maybe get a gut box or something. we get up there, but best of luck this week. Thank you so much again for the time, and go Noles, man.
I really appreciate you guys. Go Noles.
Thanks, Coach.
We had an excellent conversation with Coach Argro and really appreciate him taking the time to chat with us. He is, I believe, right now traveling out to the national championships. And so we wish his team the very best of luck this week. That starts on Wednesday. And we'd certainly love some individual see Harlan's comments in here. Harlan, you ain't that funny, bro. That was a good joke I had. That was a pre-recorded interview when I told him that I told him a little joke there. I wasn't going to split a box with him, and I laughed at it again because I forgot about that. I told that joke on Friday. So anyway, hope that we not only get a couple of national championships individually, but we'd love that overall team national championship there in happening this week. So hey, want to announce this from Guthrie's before we get going. I'll clip this. I'll cut it out as well. But we are going to do a couple of things kind of special with Guthrie's. Number one, if over the next 2 weeks, this starts tomorrow, so June 7th, and it goes through, I guess that would be June 20th, right? So 14 days. It goes Monday to not the next Sunday, but the next one. So June 7th through June 20th, if you go into Guthrie's in Tallahassee, either location, 1818 West Tennessee or 2550 North Monroe, if you go in and tell them that Double Fries No Slaw sent you, they will give you a free drink with any purchase. So if you buy a box, you don't have to pay for the drink. All you got to do is tell them Double Fries No Slaw sent you, and you'll get a free drink with your purchase, whether that be a sandwich. Hopefully you're getting that box Double Fries No Slaw, but free drink on us on Double Fries No Slaw. Go support them. Go grab a free box or a free drink with your box. Sorry, the box itself is not free. And then while you're there, again, through the same 2 weeks, if you go to Guthrie's for the next 2 weeks and you get a gut box in Tallahassee, tag us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. We will put you into a raffle to win a Guthrie's Yeti cooler. I don't have a picture of it right now, right in front of me while we're live on the air, but I will put that into the video that I'm cutting to promote this. This is what the Guthrie's cooler looks like, the Yeti cooler. We will select one winner that tags us in their Guthrie's order over the next 2 weeks, and you will win a Yeti cooler from Guthrie's in Tallahassee. I asked for those coolers. I asked for one of those coolers. Those coolers are pretty nice, Richie, and I'm kind of hoping that I get one. I'm thinking about just driving up to Tallahassee just so I can kind of like enter the contest or not. But those coolers are pretty cool, man. I don't know if you're into it or not. You're on mute right now before you start talking, so don't go just yet. But those coolers are pretty cool.
You said you get me one too, and a Yeti cooler. I mean, you kidding me? Like that's a big time giveaway. And shout out to our contact app, specifically the Tallahassee Guthrie's, for hooking that up, because that's awesome. And one listener is going to have a really nice prize.
Yeah, that's a good giveaway. So everybody's going to get free drinks on Double Fries No Slaw. You go to Guthrie's, tell them Double Fries No Slaw sent you, and you get a free drink with your gut box or your sandwich or your bucket or whatever you're ordering. Tag us in it on social media. Tag us and tag Guthrie's. Let us know you went to that Tallahassee location, either one of them. You get entered to win a free Yeti cooler. That is June 7th, starting tomorrow, starting Monday, through June 20th, which would be the next Sunday. So appreciate Guthrie's, appreciate their partnership. We just want to give you guys some free drinks and some free Yeti coolers. So we may have some more giveaways coming up with them. We may have an event coming up with them. I've talked to some of these guys off air. We got some pretty cool stuff coming down the pike. So appreciate Guthrie's, appreciate their partnership. And I really wish I could win that Yeti cooler. So we'll see what happens. I can't rig that, but I wish I could win it. Harlan's gonna be there every night this week, just ordering Guthrie's and getting free drink, free sweet teas. I could already tell what he's gonna do. But anyway, we talked about softball. We talked about baseball. Softball has a big spot here for the defense. There's 2 on for Alabama in the 5th with 1 out. Florida State needing to get out of this little bit of a jam. But, man, we talked about softball, baseball, football. We spoke with Coach Argro, their track and field team, and then obviously Pat Watkins' camp. Full show, ended up going just about an hour. Richie, do you have any shout-outs before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Shout out that Alabama hitter that just missed taking a softball to the face by like 5 inches. My goodness. Wow. But no, for me, the only shout-out I have this weekend is to my lovely wife, Lindsay. Friday was her birthday, the big 3-7. I absolutely hate the melting pot. I go once a year on her birthday, so I took her there this weekend. We had a blast. You know, she had a good time. She's an amazing wife, so shout out Lindsay. Happy birthday.
So I'm not happy birthday, Lindsay. How she puts up with you, bro. People say that about my wife all the time, though. Like, so I mean, whatever. Like, that's just like what the people say. Like, how do they put up with you? You know, it's like, well, I mean, whatever. What do you want me to say? I don't like the melting pot either, but I think the melting pot would be good if you just did the cheese fondue and the chocolate fondue. The meat, I don't care about all, but the cheese. So we talk about that every time. We never do it. We always eat the meat. Like we just.
So we talked about that because I don't like. I'm a huge steak guy. And the idea of boiling a steak for like 2 to 3 minutes and then eating it, and it's wet.
Not even a steak.
I need a
steak.
I need a steak that has a nice crust. That's that's got like a crust on the outside.
Some seasoning,
rare in the middle. It was just but the cheese, the salad's okay. The fondue is phenomenal. The dessert or the chocolate
fondue and the cheese. The chocolate and cheese are the best parts.
Yeah, the entree I could go without, but again. I'm here trying to be a good husband. She takes me to a really nice steakhouse over here for my birthday. All she asks is for a melting pot. I can do that.
No, that's funny. I'm glad you guys had a good time. Like I said, this is about to be the week of TJ coming up here. My birthday on Sunday. Again, we'll go live on Monday night. We actually have, well, I don't know. We have a special guest Monday. So tune in Monday night next week on the 14th. But my birthday, the 13th, Bryant's birthday, the 16th. His first birthday, that's exciting. And then he made it a whole year during a pandemic. Had a boy. And then
without a mask. Whoa.
Bryant never wore. Okay, we're getting canceled now. Bryant never wore a mask one time. And then obviously Father's Day that next week. So it will be all about celebrating me that weekend in my house. So, man, I don't know that I have any shout outs. Shout out Lindsay. Shout out my wife who lets me.
Real quick, we forgot him. Shout out Johnny Pack.
Oh, man,
Florida State golfer. He won the
let's go.
Haskins Award, which is basically the Heisman of golf, won the Ben Hogan Award, and today he just won the Jack Nicklaus Award. So he's basically sweeping every award you could imagine for the college golf year.
Is the Jack Nicklaus Award is that something to do with Nick O'Leary, or what is that? What is that award? I didn't know he played tight end, or what's the
that's a phenomenal question.
Terrible joke. That's the worst joke I've ever told.
It's named after Jack, and obviously he's very involved with Florida State. But to win the Haskins, the Hogan, and the Nicholas, I'm assuming that's the triple crown of golf. Phenomenal season for Johnny Pack. Really excited to see him on the Corn Ferry this coming year.
Yeah, no doubt. It's like when Jameis won all the awards, right? ACC Player of the Year,
United Golden Arm,
United,
Maxwell,
Maxwell, all the awards. That's what Pac just did.
Amazing, man, amazing. Good for him.
One of the greatest that ever did it. Hey, all right, so I'll shout this out because I'm a true, me and Richie have argued a lot and yelled at each other a lot on the show, but Harlan just put in our chat. Our esteemed producer Harlan just put that Brooks flew them down on a private jet for the presentation. Tune in this week to Par 4 podcast, the Par 4 podcast, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I say just because they're on the network, because I'm not going to be on it. But
Brooks and Bryson, man,
we got a lot of stuff. Brooksy, we got a lot of things to talk about. We got Rom getting kicked out due to something stupid.
My goodness.
I'm sure
I'm going to go on for 5 minutes about that at least. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The Brooksy and the Bryson stuff is fantastic. So Par 4 podcast, if you're into golf at all, or if you just this is the one that if you're not into golf, you need to listen to this one, because this one's going to be entertaining. I'm already looking forward to hearing you guys' takes on this. So, Richie, I give you a lot of crap on this show. We go back and forth a lot. We're going to argue again when the Bucks come around. But I'm just telling you, I'm a true friend, because my shout out tonight is for the Par 4 podcast. Also,
how about you shout out Gronk as well, since you guys are best friends now?
Yeah. So, man, shout out my guy. Yeah, I don't want to say too much before we know what's going on, but shout out my guy David Teixeira over at the Tailgate Guys. Got me into the Bucks Ray J Top Golf Live event. I took the family out. He was able to sneak me into there. Had a great day with the family out there hitting some golf balls. Taught Elena how to hit a golf ball. She didn't hit one that barely went off the thing, but she had a good time. There's some pictures of it that I'm not going to share because they're all from my bald spot back here. So, but there's some really cute pictures that our family will enjoy and social media will not. But did have the opportunity to meet Gronk there, and dude, that's a massive freaking human being. I'm not tall by any means. Richie's a tall guy. I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. But Gronk's a massive freaking, and I was up on the platform. So my buddy or David told me hey, that's Gronk over there if you want to go say hi. And I said, yeah, let's go do it. And you're on a platform and he's halfway across the stadium from me. And I'm hey, it's a normal guy over there. Then you walk up to him and, I come up to his belly button, and it's just man, this is unreal. Florida State just got out of that top of the fifth jam. I'm again, no live play-by-play here, but if we can get a run, we're 6 outs from getting out of here. Shout out Megan King.
Shout out Mason for the Double Fries alum from last week for making that play.
Yeah. Shout out as well. Okay. So I guess I do have a billion shout outs here. So shout out Gronk. That was fun. Shout out David Teixeira. Thanks for your hookup there. We may have some stuff coming down the pike with the Tailgate Guys. So shout them out if you're considering any tailgates coming up. That's not a paid advertisement, but my guy hooked me up. So he may be hooking up the show soon too. Shout out Megan King. I've been chatting with her a little bit while she's been up in Oklahoma City. We may get her on soon to chat a little bit about this run the Noles have had. And talk about one of the absolute GOATs in Florida State history. Yeah. And then since I shout out Richie's pod too, I am currently drinking out of a bourbon on a budget Glencairn glass. If you are into whiskey at all, bourbon, rye, scotch, whatever you like, Brendan Sinone of Noles 247, myself and Ben Cock, a buddy of mine that I grew up with, do a bourbon podcast on the Big Three Roll Up Network. Check it out as well. We do a lot of really, really good content on the Big Three Roll Up Network. There's different podcasts from Florida to Georgia to Miami to
horror movies,
Florida State,
stocks,
horror movies,
everything,
stocks,
everything, golf, everything.
Golf. I can't even name everything, but a lot, current events, relevant stuff. Just there's an interview show. There's just all around. Check out the Big Three Roll Up Network. If you search Big Three Roll Up on iTunes, all of the podcasts come up because the sponsor of each one of them is Big 3 Roll Up Network. So if you search Big 3 Roll Up on iTunes, you can see everything on the network. That's my final shout out. I don't have a song for tonight, and I don't know who did the last one, but does anybody, Harlan, Richie, anybody got a song off the top of their head?
I feel like I needed to defer to Harlan because for my wife's birthday, I wanted to play Sweet Home Alabama because that's like her favorite song, being a Crimson Tide fan. But we're playing them, so I cannot give her that much for her birthday. She got a lot of nice things. I cannot give her this song, so Harlan, you pick it.
Harlan, you got it. If not, I got it.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say you could still do Sweet Home Alabama because we're sending them home, so have fun going home.
Ain't gonna be.
But yeah, go ahead, TJ. I was gonna get cocky with it, but go ahead, TJ. If you got a better one.
Wait. What were you gonna get cocky with? I want to hear what you had in mind.
No, that was he was saying to use that.
Oh, send them home, Alabama.
So let's do it.
That's gonna get Colt. That's gonna get Colt Takes Exposed tomorrow morning, just because y'all. But whatever y'all want, man, roll with it. Let's go. I mean, either way, if Alabama wins, hats off to them, man. They had a great run. Yeah. They were a great team this year. I'll say this before we go.
If we have to play again tonight, my goodness.
Oh, I hope not tonight because I'm tired. But Florida State just bunted for a single in the bottom of the fifth.
Yep.
So
no outs.
Man, let's go. But I'll say this. I hate this loser blood mentality of, oh, we had a great year, blah, blah, blah. But let me just tell you something. Florida State was not a national seed in softball this year. Had to go to LSU and win a super regional on the road in a place that people do not win on the road, and then ended up coming out of the loser's bracket to get to the semifinal and finish in the top 4 of softball teams in the country. No matter what happens in this Alabama game tonight or in the final this week, obviously we hope for 4 more FSU wins to get a national champion. Man, what a hell of a season by FSU softball, no matter what the result is. Obviously, we all want national championships here, but a fantastic result. And I think that watching European soccer has opened me up more to appreciating that it's not championship or bust. No, it is championship or bust, right? You play for that ultimate prize, but you should take some, you should appreciate your season, even if it didn't end in a championship, right? Like Chiefs fans last year with the Super Bowl feel worse than any other fan base in the country, but really they should feel second best. Like they should be the second most proud of their season than anyone else. And that's just not how we do it in American sports, right? Like if you lose the Super Bowl, you feel bad about it, but it's better to lose in the finals than it is to lose in the first round, right?
So two random thoughts. Like one of our neighbors, literally right down the road, huge Kansas City fans. They have like the Kansas City Super Bowl flag from 2 years ago. I really just want to leave something from this year's Super Bowl like on their doorstep because I don't know who these people are, but I won't. But yeah, man, I'm excited to watch this game. It's still tied at 0. Florida State's got one on, a blooper to it's out. Never mind. All right, unfortunate. And I think that's it. Oh, last thing. Anybody ballsy enough to take Logan Paul tonight, or Floyd's going to win, right? There's no question on that.
Yeah, Floyd wins in a technical decision, not in a knockout or anything. In a technical decision.
Well, there won't be a TKO tonight. It doesn't sound like there's no judges, only knockouts. Or if they say, I guess it would be a TKO. Technically, they say if the judge says the fight can't continue. So we'll see. My wife is not happy. We've been watching baseball, softball, golf.
Oh, so it can't be. So it's not being watching
fight. It will not be scored. So if they both make it to the end, there's no winner.
Oh, so yeah, it'll end in a draw. Nobody's getting knocked out. But if it was scored, then I mean Floyd would win.
Floyd would win, but yeah, not even close. Not even
close. All right, basically FSU 2-on-1 out here in the 5th. Let's sign off. I don't want to do any more live. We've been saying we were going to sign off for about 10 minutes here. Man, this is a fun podcast. Richie, Harlan, thanks for hanging out. Guys, we got a lot coming down the pike with double fries, no slaw. The fries are staying hot. We will see you guys next week. Harlan, play us out of here.
Let's go.
It's a done deal. Let's go.